Hi everyone, my name is Joe Waller and I'm here today in partnership with Resolution Interviews, and they contacted me a little while ago asking me to do this interview using some of your questions and some of their questions. I love what they do, so if you would like to check it out and you're watching this video on my page at the moment, if you look at the links below, it'll all be below, I'll link in their page and it will have a link to my page as well. And yeah, subscribe to their channel on YouTube and everything else that they do, because they do some brilliant stuff, and hopefully you can check out my page too. So here are some of the questions. I'm just going to be reading them out and then answering them as honest as I can. So thank you very much for clicking on this link and watching. So here you go. You auditioned for the X Factor UK and were shown on national television performing your original song Stay. Did you think you were going to get the reaction you got from the judges and the audience? No, I didn't. It was a worry anyway going on the stage, but no, I didn't expect to get that kind of reaction. I'm going to delay my answer a little bit because the next question is, was there ever a doubt in your mind about auditioning with your original song Stay versus auditioning with a cover song? So basically you have to send the editing crew 5 songs that you want to sing, and 4 of the songs that I sent them out of the 5 were cover songs, and one of them was other way around. 4 of them were original songs and 1 of them was a cover song. And so we had this ongoing email situation where they wanted me to sing different songs, and I feel more comfortable with an original. You write an original because it suits your voice and because it's personal feelings, and it's just personal, isn't it? It's just something that you can sing and make people believe. So if anything, singing an original song allowed me to be more comfortable, but I don't know really. Allowed me to give a more believable performance as well, because it's about a real story. Stay. It's about something that happened to me a couple of years ago whilst I was at university. So it's about it's not just a pop song; it's actually real life. So it made it a lot nicer, I suppose. You dropped out of the X Factor UK to focus on your own music. Will we get to hear any of it soon? Yes. I have been recording very, very heavily with a guy called Brad Mayer, producer, and we've got a song coming out on the 23rd called Untitled. I spent so long trying to figure out a song title for it, and at every single one of my gigs I called it Untitled, so we stuck with it and it fits perfectly. And it was BBC introducing Track of the Day the other day on the 13th of October 2015. So it's coming out on the 23rd of October, and then we'll be releasing a lot more material month on month, basically trying to keep the ball rolling, and hopefully you guys like what you hear. So yeah, there's plenty more coming out, but the next one is on the 23rd of October. You released an EP called Circles earlier this year. Of those songs, which one is your favourite to perform? What is your favourite lyric from each song? I really like performing Lie to Me from my Circles EP. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and wrote that song after a heavy day of recording in the studio. And we scrapped a song because I didn't like it, and I knew I had to go in the next day and record one. And I literally wrote it at 3 o'clock at night, and then woke up at 8 o'clock the next day getting ready to go into the studio. We recorded it, and it's just so raw, and it was everything that was happening in that 5 minutes of my life it brings up some sad feelings, but at the same time feelings of elation that I've got over that point in my life as well. So yeah, Lie to Me. And what is your favourite lyric from each song? Oh, this is a very tricky one. Probably in Lie to Me it's got to be the chorus where it says, "Lie to me and tell me we might have enough love to last the night." It kept on running over in my brain as I laid in bed that night, and that's kind of where the song came from and developed. Circles, which is the title track, is probably a line that says, "I can tell by your eyes that you mean it, and I can tell by your touch that it's true." It was something that I'd heard a couple of weeks back in a conversation with somebody, and again it kept on playing in my mind, and I just wanted to put it into the song. So that was that one again. And from the third song on the EP, Love Is, is probably the opening track. And again, I was in a sad situation, and it's a great song to play because I unplug and everything else. But it's probably the opening line, which is "Don't wake up because the silence fills my heart with all the missing love." And actually, after the argument subsides, that little feeling of happiness where if you put to one side everything that has just happened, the silence and everything that is in that room started off with something amazing and brilliant. So that's where that line came from. But yeah, listen to the songs. That's the only way you can pick your best line out. Good little sales pitch there. How did you get involved with music, and how long ago was that? When did you start to take it seriously? I got involved with music because I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar, and I never have. And instead, I'm one of these people that, I'd love to do this. I don't know anything else that I really wanted to do at the time. I'd love to play piano, so I'm starting to learn at the moment. But I watched my sister's boyfriend, Jason. He played guitar one night. We were quite drunk. It was around Christmas time, I think. And I sat on my phone and I bought a £65 guitar off of the internet. And it went from there. And actually, the only reason I started singing was because I found playing the chords easier if I learnt the words to go with the song. So I'd remember that an A chord would be at this point in the song, so I remembered that chord. And then it kind of developed on from there, really. And when did you start to take it seriously? 22 months ago, I released a song called Your Perfect Self after my auntie passed away from cancer. And I got a great reaction from it. And hundreds of people downloaded it, and it got to number 15 on the iTunes singer-songwriter chart. And I recorded it in my bedroom on a microphone that I paid for £1 at a car boot sale. And it kind of took off from there. And one, I loved the reaction. Two, it was always a challenge because I was so behind everybody else in the industry. And three, it was like a way that I could get everything off of my chest that I've always been struggling to say. Didn't have to be direct at anyone, didn't have to be anger, didn't have to be upset, didn't have to be happiness. It was just a song that I wrote that I could sing to people. So yeah, 22 months ago is when I really started it. But it was about 3 years ago now that I actually bought my first guitar and started learning how to play. So it's all happened relatively quickly, but it's come with a lot of hard work. So yeah. I've got some fan questions now, actually. So first of all, what made you start singing? And it's from Courts Woodgate on Instagram. And like I just said, it was basically just... I remember I sang at a school play when I was in reception class in primary school, and I sung Brahms' Lullaby, and I hated it so much after I got on stage. I literally never sang again, except if I was a little bit tipsy on karaoke or something, until the day I bought a guitar 3 years ago. And I don't know, there was that stigma attached to the thought of singing that people would just automatically think it was horrible, even though at the time apparently they said I was very good at singing. So when I turned 20, I bought the guitar and I started singing just to learn stuff. And then my friend asked me to support him on a gig, and then I kind of thought to myself, actually I have got to practice. An amazing band called The Bayonets, he actually lives next door to me at the moment, Dan Harding, and he believed in me, and he was the first person to actually say, I think you could do something with this. I think you're good enough to go places with music if you want to. So he gave me an opportunity of a support slot at a gig. Literally my first ever gig I ever performed was with 150 people in a room come to watch this band, and they're an indie rock band. So that was interesting, me playing acoustic music. So yeah, but that's kind of what sparked everything off. Which of your songs was the most difficult to write? And this is from ITX Malu on Instagram again. I'm really sorry if I'm getting these names wrong. The most difficult song to write. In terms of difficult to write because of emotions behind it, it was probably Lie to Me. Literally everything in that song was written in 5 minutes. I wrote all the verses, the mid, late, the chorus in 5 minutes. I had the guitar tune in my head, so I just wanted to play it whilst I was sat there, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning, so I went and sat in the kitchen and tried to do it really quietly. But it was like a release instead of me just exploding and being like, and frustrated with everything that was going on, it happened, and then the next day it allowed me to move on from the situation. So Lie to Me was the most difficult. In terms of difficult for me to pick the right things to put into a song, I've literally finished 2 days ago a song called Alcohol, and again, it was about a difficult situation that happened 3 years ago, and I've never quite been able to put what happened that night into words, where I realised that I needed someone a lot more than I wanted to. And it was all because I'd been drinking alcohol that I met up with them in the first place. Again, the whole situation is amazing now, but I've only just been able to put that whole thing into words, where it's been playing around in my head for so long. But yeah, I'm really happy with the song as well, so that one's going to be recorded and released soon too. So that's another one to listen out for. Will new CDs be coming soon with new music? This is Travis Moore of Facebook. Well, I have hard copies of my Circles EP at the moment, and they're signed, and if you want to buy them online, digital copies are on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Play, Google Play, all that kind of stuff. But the idea behind releasing new CDs is we're going to record one a month, record and release one track a month for the next, I don't know, however long, a year possibly, and then either create 2 or 3 EPs again, which I think is a better idea because it gives you little snippets of where I'm at the time. Or if there's enough interest, chuck it all into one big album and release it as a huge album, and that will come out as a CD on a hard copy that you can buy signed and sealed. And I cut all of my EPs, I print them off from a local printing company, and I sit at home and use scissors and cut them and send them off myself through the post. So old-fashioned way, but yeah, it's nice because it allows me to kind of, that time that I put into cutting and sealing and everything else, is kind of a little way of saying thank you for buying the CD in the first place. So yeah, they'll be coming very soon anyway. What's your favourite singer, band, album and song? And this is by Jude Favari on Instagram. I'm really sorry if I got that name wrong again. My favourite singer has got to be Passenger. He released a song a little while ago called Let Her Go, but I've been following him for years before that. And he's just incredible. I went and watched him at London Apollo, and just him and a guitar in a room. Yeah, it was breathtaking. It was incredible what he'd done and how good his music constantly is, and how he's stuck to his ways. He hasn't gone to pop culture. He hasn't pushed towards something else that he doesn't necessarily believe in. He's always stuck to what he really likes as a musician, and I love that about him. And his Passenger is my #1 artist. Album is my favourite, Faded Fantasy by Damien Rice. I've always followed his music as well, but I feel it gets better and better every single time. He released his album O, that went massive, with Blower's Daughter and Cannonball on it, that were 2 huge hit songs. And then he's released this same one, and every single track is different, but perfect in its own way again. Tells a little story, it's just him, there's huge amounts of production on it, but nothing that brings him away from his natural life set. So my favourite, Faded Fantasy by Damien Rice. But EP terms, there's a guy called Luke Sital Singh, who I went and watched in The Haunt with a good friend called Matt Hofberg, and he was incredible as well. And every single EP is slightly different, but perfect in its own right. He's just released a small album, and yeah, just very, very good as well. So, and song. There's an artist, a small artist called Jessie Ware. She's actually not that small, to be honest. She's absolutely massive, and she's got a song called Wildest Moments. And in every form that is played, you tend to hear a recorded track that's got a huge amounts of production on it, an acoustic track in a room where it's all things can be mixed and monitored, and then you've got a live track that can. In a room when you're sat in front of someone, but every single version of the song is slightly different, yet it's still incredible. The words are amazing, it's relatable to whoever you are as a person, and it just works as a song. So Wildest Moments by Jessie Ware. Where do you write most of your songs? And this is by Matt Hofberg. These are randomly selected, by the way, and this is off Facebook. I wrote songs in weird different places. I wrote a song called Undercovers that I sung at my first audition for X Factor, and I wrote that on the train up to the gig. So I sat on the train, I had just things going through my head, so I wrote the song, I sung it, and I got through my first audition with that song. In other ways, like the song Alcohol I've just written, I've written pieces of it at different points. I've been sat at work in the staff room and I've written down lyrics because they popped into my head that I've added to the song. I've had things that I've written a year and a half ago that I added into certain parts of the song, so it changes. It depends. If it's situational based, it's usually at home and stuff. If it's just spur of the moment where it comes out, it could be anywhere. It could be in the recording studio with Brad, it could be walking down the street, literally anything. So by auditioning for the X Factor UK, it helps you gain a following. What are 3 words you would use to describe your followers? This is a difficult one because I need more than 3 words. I need more than just 3 words to describe. I think unique. I love uniqueness. I love unique artists. I love unique people, and I think you have to be unique to follow an artist like me because I'm not mainstream. My face isn't all over the TV. People don't just follow me because I'm all over the radio. You actually have to search my music and you actually have to find me. You have to sit in a pub and listen to me to want to listen to my music. So unique, amazing for even following me in the first place. I'm going to come back to you with the 3rd one. Unique and amazing are the 2. It's a bit of a difficult thing to describe when I appreciate everyone that follows me so much. I can't quite describe how grateful I am for people messaging me, following me, liking my videos, buying my music, coming to my gigs. I'll have to have a think about the last 3rd one. But do you plan on touring anytime soon? And if yes, where? I've just sold out a gig at Farnham Maltings in Surrey, and we are planning lots more stuff. I'm hoping to do a small tour very soon, but it's a case at the moment of trying to create enough material where people can come along to a gig and sing throughout the whole gig to every single song, because I've released every single song. At the moment I have 3 songs out. I'm going to have another one out very soon, of course. So yeah, I hope to be planning touring soon. And I will keep you updated. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, subscription by my website and stuff, and you'll find out exactly when I'm doing these things and how I'm going to be doing them as well. So I plan to do a couple of free gigs very soon as well, where people can just get tickets emailed to them and they turn up just for saying thank you for wanting to come along. So that's what it's all about, I suppose. Where do you see yourself as a person and career-wise in 5 years? If you asked me this a couple of years ago, I would have said I would be a teacher in a school and I will be working on my career to become head of department in a PE department anywhere. I could be teaching you right now in a school, a PE. Right now, I hope I will be making music and I will be working towards this career regardless of how big I am and where I get to. Because I've been going at this, like I said, for 22 months, tirelessly, and I mean tirelessly. I finish work on an evening, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock or something. I get in, I get changed, I go to a gig, London, Brighton, Guildford, Farnham, wherever, and I travel to a gig and I get in at 12 o'clock at night and then I repeat the same thing the next day. And I've been working hard at it for the last couple of years, so it's quite nice to take a step back now and say, actually, I'm going to be more selective and I'm going to go and record stuff, and I'm going to enjoy this whole process, give myself a chance to enjoy this whole process a little bit more. So in 5 years I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be working hard, whether it's me touring the world, which would be absolutely amazing with your help, or whether I'm just still open mics and pubs and stuff. I'll still be working very hard, I know that much. So that's kind of the plan for 5 years. World domination would be nice, but if not, then just having a chat with you guys like this, I guess, on another interview. How supportive have your family, friends and co-workers been about your music career? One word: Very. They are one of the reasons I'm still at it, one of the reasons I started in the first place, and one of the reasons I enjoy it so much. I've had some gigs where my friends, like a guy called Ben Chilart, who I've been friends with for years, he's my best friend, and I've had gigs before where he's literally been the only person in the room, or he's literally been the only person sat there in front of me playing music whilst I'm playing. And I've done a 45-minute set and walked off, and he's the only person that's been sat there in the room because he's the only person that's come along with me. He came up to the X Factor auditions with me. That was after a very drunk night at one of my best friend's weddings. We got up stupidly early, still very drunk, and got the train up. And he did that just because he wanted to. And the same with family and friends and my relationship and stuff. It's everybody is they're incredible people. So I can't thank them enough for that as well. So. At Resolution Interviews, we strive to make a positive impact on our audience by asking their favourite musicians and entertainment personalities for advice. What is your advice for your followers who may be struggling with self-esteem, bullying or other negative situations? It's such a tough one, bullying and feeling negative about yourself and struggling with self-esteem, because it's self-perception, it comes from you. And before I started music, I used to struggle with self-esteem so much. And it used to be a huge problem in my life. I think it is through every teenager's, through the teen years, as soon as you go into secondary school, up until you leave, possibly even afterwards. I was only comfortable with myself when I turned 21. And I don't know, just be you. People don't get anywhere in this life by following everybody else. Ed Sheeran and Sam Smith, Amy Winehouse, Adele, Stevie Wonder, they all did great things because they're unique in their own way. I know Ed Sheeran won't mind me saying this. A ginger guy who doesn't look like the typical pop star absolutely rocks it. He raps, he sings, he plays guitar, uses loop pedal, and he's incredible at what he does. But the reason he's so good is because he's stuck to believing in himself. Amy Winehouse, exactly the same. Adele, exactly the same. You could go on for ages. Sam Smith, you know what I mean? People like this, they only get to where they are because they are unique. And I don't know. If you compare yourself to other people all the time, you're going to feel down or worried about yourself because you're nothing like them. You're an individual person. But like I said, I see it in schools all the time, and the easiest way to do it is just look at all the positives. And there might not seem like a lot at the time, but trust me, there is. If you compare yourself to someone else in a different part of the world or a different part of the country, whether it's your family that are there for you, whether it's a relationship or whether it's friends, or you're clever or you're good at music or you're good at singing or good at sport or incredibly creative, and all these different variations that you can get in one person, just look at the positives. It'll make you so much happier. Yeah. That's another very tough question though. Have you ever been bullied or struggled with self-esteem, and how did you persevere? I've never struggled with bullying as such. I used to be incredibly short in year 7, but again, after creating friends with people, I'd never really got bullied for it. I only really grew when I turned 18, 19 years old. But self-esteem, yes. Self-esteem is huge. I suffered massively with confidence issues all the way up until, like I say, until I was 21 years old, all the way through college. And that was not because I didn't have the support system behind me and people saying that I was good at things. And it's just something that personally happens. And I think one day when you finally realise that being yourself works, and things are, not only does it make you happier, but it makes people accept you as well when you're sure about what you want in life. And it takes a while. It's not just going to happen overnight, but perseverance, I think it's a mental thing. You have the ability to be happy, so why not choose to be? That is another hard question. Resolution interviews, you're killing me at the moment. How would you describe the sound of your music? How did the events of your life shape your songs, your sound, and you as a person? The best describe the sound of my music. Again, people ask me this all the time. I fall into the singer-songwriter pop category, slightly a little bit of folk maybe. And I'd best describe the sound. It's hard putting it into artists, because all the artists that I follow, like Luke and Cannon from Nizloppy, and Lewis Watson and Matt Corby and Luke Seeker Singh and Damien Rice, all of these people that I follow are so different from each other, yet they all amazingly fall into this one singer-songwriter category, and I think that's the only way I can describe it. It's hard. Just listen to my stuff, and then hopefully you can make your own judgment, and hopefully you'll say I don't sound like anybody else you know, because that is the overall aim. Where was I? How do the events of your life shape your songs, your sound, and you as a person? The events in my life, every single song I've written, whether it's pop or whether it's a pop ballad or whether it's completely different from that kind of style, literally every single song is about a moment in my life. I can't just write a song with no foundation laid underneath it. So Circles song, the title track from my EP, is based on the progression from the day that my mum and dad broke up. I was 12 years old. To I found out about them breaking up and seeing the situation as they broke up, to the day that I finally got over it, and how it made me feel. But I wrote it from my mum's eyes, because my dad moved out. He's an incredible man, by the way. They're both are lovely, lovely people. My mum's amazing as well. And my dad moved out, so I only saw it from my mum's perspective, although my dad was hurting. I saw it from exactly what my mum was doing at the time. And as a 12-year-old, seeing your mum cry, you feel like you should be the man of the house, when actually I'm nowhere near a man at 12. So Lie to Me again, Love Is, I wrote it after some little arguments and disputes. Stay, I wrote it after a relationship broke down at university when they moved to Oxford and I lived in Chichester, and she used to come over and I literally said to her, why won't you stay? And that came from that song. Of course I started playing guitar, and that's when I started writing the things. But yeah, they're all situational based, so I guess my life impacts my songs. So I'm happier now, and I'm writing happier songs. And a little while ago I was a little bit more upset, so I wrote a few songs that didn't quite match my mood at the time. So what are some ways that you ease your mind about insecurities that you might have? Be happy with yourself. Just be happy. It's been a thing for quite a long time where I think people feel like they fit into a certain group in society, so they have to wear them clothes, or they have to do things that other people are doing, or they have to have their hair a certain way to fit in with the people that they hang around with. But actually, it's not the case. If you look at my friendship group, I wear Doc Martens and boots and skinny jeans and shirts, and I have my hair like this. I do wash, by the way. And then my other friends, one of my friends likes wearing joggers and trainers and jumpers, and then my other mate is completely different, high tops and all that kind of stuff. And we must look like the weirdest bunch going out, but we're all happy and comfortable in our skin. Yeah, express your differences. I suppose I watched my mum. She's an extremely insecure person, and only because she was bullied as a youngster, as a kid. And if I can see her as this perfect human being, and she is, she's lovely and she's amazing. If I can see her in that light, yet everybody else can see that she's lovely and she's amazing and she helps people, yet she still sees herself as someone that has less of a purpose in life than say me, then that shows it's completely wrong. It's all a mental state of mind. And if she could just see how happy she makes people, then she'd be happier overall as well. So I don't know. It'd be quite nice if get someone that really loves you, a family member, a relationship, a friend or something, and just say, can you write down all the things that I make better for your life? And see how many things come out of it. Even if it's just one, and you make that person's life better by one thing on a piece of A4 paper, you've succeeded, because you're making someone else's life better other than yourself, and hopefully you'll start seeing that you do have a purpose, and you can succeed, and you should feel better about yourself. Another hard question. I ramble too much. I'm very sorry. And last but not least, what are some resolutions you have made or will make to better yourself as a person and live a more positive life? I have learned very, very quickly in this industry that if you are nice to people and you respect people, you will get a return later on. And that doesn't mean licking someone's bum and being like, oh, I love you and all this kind of stuff. That genuinely means being nice to someone. A guy called John Collins, who is fundamental he's one of the reasons again why I'm here today. He met me at an open mic night, gave me his card, said, if you ever need anything, just contact me. And that was it. He didn't say what he was doing. Basically said he was a cameraman, helped with sound. Now he's helped me at numerous gigs, never asked for a penny off of me, at festivals, done my sound, done some camera work, done some photos for me, just given me advice and given me contacts and gigs. And that all came because, one, he is such a nice person, but two, I hope that I could, one, repay him one day, but two, show him that I was a nice person too and really appreciate it. And I do. His family are lovely people, he's a lovely person, and hopefully one day I can repay him for everything that he's done for me. But at the same time, just be nice to people. It doesn't cost anything, it's not hard, and it makes sense when it's a lot easier to do than be horrible. But that's basically it. But yeah, I am so sorry if you sent me a question and I wasn't able to answer it. But what I will do, if you watch this video and your your question wasn't answered, all you have to do is tweet them to me at Joe Waller Music, or Facebook if you write on one of my pictures or posts, or Instagram, and yeah, just send them over and I will answer them to the best of my ability. I had to hold this back for a little while, and thank you again to Resolution Interviews, because I've had some troubles uploading this video. That's why I'm sat down in a log cabin at the end of my garden at the moment and not in my house, because we've had to do some work up there and stuff. So yeah, thank you for being patient as well, and I really hope you enjoyed the interview, and I hope it's helped some people. Just be happy in your skin that you're in. And go watch other stuff from Resolution Interviews, like I said below, and the link to my page if you are watching on Resolution Interviews page. So I think that's all. Thank you very much, and yeah, links are below, like I said, and enjoy your day. Thank you very much. Bye.